Okay. Good morning. Welcome to the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City. Today's October 22nd, 2020. Board is holding its virtual WebEx meeting. Board will be considering regular items, new, transfer, and hardship cases. I'm going to quickly go through a PowerPoint presentation regarding the docket. If you would like access to the docket, I ask that you click on the link that's on this page, input the access code and password, and you will have access to this if you have a smartphone, tablet, computer, or similar device. If you do not have access to those devices, you can call into our meetings. There's a phone number and access code at the bottom of the page. Materials, evidence, and related items for this docket. All of the docket and all of the information that the board has is listed on the link under the materials section. You go to our website to the hearing schedules and click on October 22nd, 2020. You'll be able to access all of that information. We have a general 48-hour rule for evidence for online hearings. That means all evidence that the board's going to hear today should have been submitted by 11 a.m. on Tuesday, October 20th. Any evidence is attempted to be submitted to the board at this time, the board may not be able to consider it when reviewing the application. Related items, amendments to applications made by applicants or their representatives should have been made at least 2 weeks ago prior to the posting of this docket. If anyone attempts to make an amendment at this hearing, depending on the amendment, the board may have to postpone the case for a future date. Just some procedures for the docket. I'll read the preliminary instructions and general ground rules. Afterwards, I'm going to be calling the cases. When I call the cases, I will be pulling the witnesses off of essentially a waiting list so that they can turn on their cameras and their audio and provide testimony. Please note that you're going to be sworn in by a court reporter, so you need to speak slowly, identify yourself. If the board has questions or opposing counsel has questions, at that time you'll be able to provide testimony. Once the board hears all the evidence and testimony, it will then make a decision. Please note that the board will also make time for members of the public who use the raise your hand function to provide testimony in these cases. Lastly, the board is not authorized to discuss non-case related matters. There's some general ground rules, something very helpful. When you are impaneled as a witness, please speak slowly and in a clear voice so that the court reporter understands exactly what is being said and who is saying it. Please note that this event is running live on Charm TV and a court reporter is present. Individuals who use profanity, are disrespectful, or unruly may be expelled from the virtual hearings. Some helpful reminders when you are providing testimony, please make sure you're in a well-lit area so that the board members can see you. Make sure your internet is strong, you have a strong connection, you're not multitasking, and you're not in a noisy area. I would ask that for individuals who are not speaking to please mute themselves. I will now go to the first case. I'll actually go to the second case because we have an attorney ready and present. Calling Christopher Michael Wagner and Sarah Stauber, PFW Baltimore LLC, trading as 00 Baltimore Plant Food and Wine, Baltimore, 414 Light Street, Unit 102 is a Class B beer, wine, liquor license. An application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-1604C2 small I requiring $700,000 in capital investment, restaurant fixtures and facilities, 65% of food sales, and seating capacity for a minimum of 75 people, requesting outdoor table service. I'm now going to pull in Ms. Schreckengast and her clients, Mr. Wagner and Ms. Stauber. Can you please turn on? Ms. Schreckengast, I'm having a problem trying to pull you in. It's not allowing me to make you a panelist, but I've unmuted you. Ms. Stauber is on, as well as Mr. Wagner. Ms. Stauber, can you please unmute yourself? Mr. Wagner, could you please turn on your video footage? Ms. Schreckengoss, can you hear me?
I can definitely hear you, Mr. Akers.
Okay, shall we proceed then? Ms. Schreckengoss, can you identify yourself for the record, please?
Certainly, Your Honor. Leanne Schreckengoss with Royston, Muller, McLean, and Reed here on behalf of PFW Baltimore, LLC.
Good morning. Can we have the reporter swear the witnesses, please?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
I do.
Okay,
Thank you.
Ms. Schreckengoss, do you want to tell us a little bit about this application?
Yes, sir. We're here for a new Class B restaurant with request for outdoor table service for a concept called 00/plant food wine. These are plant-based concepts under the Matthew Kenny Cuisine umbrella. They serve minimally processed plant-based foods from scratch. A copy of the menu is included with the board's package for your reference. In addition to the menu items, they intend to pay homage to local cuisine by adding a plant-based flair to local favorites, which will come out once the restaurant opens. As the witnesses have been sworn in, Christopher Wagner and Ms. Stauber are both authorized persons and members of PFW Baltimore, LLC. Christopher Wagner is the Director of Hospitality for Matthew Kenny Cuisine. He oversees the development, openings, and operations of the East Coast restaurants. In addition, he will be responsible for training all the management staff at this Baltimore location. After training, he will be involved regularly for leadership with the management teams here on the East Coast and at this Baltimore location. Ms. Stauber is serving as our Baltimore City resident licensee. She is familiar with this process as she formerly served as the resident licensee for the On the Border restaurant, which unfortunately closed earlier this year in Canton. I would proffer that both are fit and proper. Both have received copies of this board's rules and regulations and understand their responsibilities as licensees. With respect to this Class B restaurant license, as you're aware, we have to prove that there's a $700,000 capital investment, there's seating for 75, and that they're going to meet the 65-35 food to alcohol ratio. There should be an updated budget included in the board's file, which shows that the kitchen equipment, the finishes, the custom countertops, the sound system, the security system, the tables and chairs all amount to over $760,000 of a capital investment, so easily exceeding the $700,000 requirement. Also included with the board's files is an updated floor plan. The floor plan will show you that there is dining seating interior for 118 people. As we are also requesting outdoor table service, you will see a diagram of the patio, which has 56 dining seats on it. With respect to the 65-35 food to alcohol ratio, we do not anticipate any challenges with meeting this requirement, as other Matthew Kenny cuisines across the country either meet or exceed this 65-35 ratio. I would like to advise the board that the hours of operation for this location will be Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., on Saturday from noon to 11 p.m., and on Sunday from noon to 10 p.m. They will be hiring approximately 35 employees, all undergo internal alcohol awareness training, which covers ID checking, looking for signs of intoxication, and when to cut off a customer from service. All management personnel at the location will be required to undergo the state-approved TIPS alcohol awareness training. Their in-house carding policy is to card anyone who appears 35 or younger. The restaurant is currently under construction with a planned opening in January of 2021. Having a liquor license for a plant-based concept allows the restaurant to be more attractive to people who don't necessarily gravitate towards plant-based foods and puts them on an equal playing field with other concepts that do have alcohol. With that, I turn it over to the board for any questions you may have.
The only question, you had indicated that you have an updated budget. I'm not seeing it. Maybe the other commissioners have it?
I submitted it to Ms. Russell on Tuesday morning, along with the updated floor plan.
I don't did. I just don't know whether I have it.
It should have been sent. I'll re-forward it.
Okay, that's fine. Just, I want to make sure it's in the file, that's all.
Yes,
And,
it is.
Okay, and then this is an interesting menu. It's the first time I've ever seen not pizza on a menu. It's an interesting concept, but I think you covered all the other bases, Ms. Schreckengoss, so I'll see if the commissioners have questions.
None.
I just have a couple of questions.
Please.
There is no live entertainment. Rather, Ms. Stauber, any issues with your license on the border and any issues with your husband's licenses at all?
Never an issue.
Great. Thank you so much. No further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, thank you. Is there any public comment, Mr. Akers?
At this time, if there are any individual members from the public who wish to give testimony in this case, please use the raise your hand function so I can impanel you. Mr. Chair, I see no individuals that wish to give testimony in this case.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing further, then I would rule on the basis of the materials contained in the application, including those things that I may not have before me, but Ms. Russell assures me are in the file. On the basis of the proffers from counsel and testimony received, I would vote to approve this application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license requesting outdoor table service.
I also approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license and outdoor table services for the address of 414 Life Street, Unit 102.
On the basis of the application, the proffers from counsel, and the testimony, I too would approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor license with outdoor table service. Good luck.
I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, updated business plan, and Board Exhibit 2, email from Downtown Partnership dated 10/8/20 in support.
Commissioners, I just want to let you know I did just forward you the email of Mrs. Schreckengoss exhibits with the seating plan and capital investment. So you should have that information as well. And that will be included in the file.
Okay.
Ms. Schreckengoss, correspondence will be sent to you regarding the board's decision and next steps for licensure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we do have the witnesses for the first case. If you want, I can go back and call that case.
That's fine. Let's go.
Calling the first case, Michael Kavanaugh, the Arcade X LLC, trade name pending, 26 South Arlington Avenue, is an application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. The board is to rehear a matter concerning an issue identified during the issuance process. I'm going to now make a panelist of Mr. Kavanaugh, who is the licensee. Mr. Kavanaugh, can you please turn on your video and audio footage so you can be sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's swear the witness, please.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Kavanaugh. How are you?
Good morning. Fine. How are you?
Okay, so this license was approved by the board at a meeting on July 23, but there's an issue that's arisen since. Can you fill the board in, please?
Yes, sir. I was informed, and first off, I'd like to apologize to the board for the necessity of this hearing. It was caused by a lack of diligence on my part in the application process. I was informed that there were two convictions that happened about 20 years ago while I was in college that I simply forgot to put on the application. It was not intended to mislead the board in any way, and for that I apologize.
These were misdemeanor convictions?
Correct.
Okay, and you have since amended your application?
Yes.
Oh,
Anyone else have a question? Do the other commissioners have questions?
Have none.
No questions.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Kavanaugh?
No, again, I just apologize to the board, and it was in no way trying to mislead in the application process.
All right, thank you. On the basis of your testimony, I would find you credible and that this was not a material misrepresentation in the original application. Since you have corrected it with an amended application, I would vote to have the license be issued.
I too, based on updated information, approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with live entertainment, outdoor table services, and off-premise catering.
I too, based upon the testimony of Mr. Kavanaugh, find that his initial application was in error and unintentional, and based upon the amended application, I would agree to move forward on the issuance process.
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you.
Mr. Kavanaugh, you will be mailed the board's decision. I know you're very close to licensure. I would ask that you contact Ms. Russell now that the board has heard the matter to complete the steps for licensure.
I will do so very quickly. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Calling case number 3, Andre Randall McCain, Kimberly Wiggins, Half Smoke Baltimore LLC, trading as Half Smoke, 2400 Boston Street, Suite 108, is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license, an application for a new Class B beer, wine, liquor restaurant license under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article 12, 903C2I, requiring $500,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities, 51% of food sales, and seating capacity for a minimum of 75 people, but not more than 150 individuals, requesting live entertainment, outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages. I'm going to impanel all of those individuals now. Mr. Williams, Mr. McCain, Ms. Wiggins, please turn on your video and audio footage. Ms. Wiggins, please turn on your video.
Do you have everybody?
Yes,
I'm trying. Wait, hold on. I see my preview, but I can't get it to come up. Yeah, don't know what's going on. Sorry, I'm working on this.
All right, Mr. Williams, please identify yourself for the record, please.
Good morning. For the record, Justin Williams from the law firm Rosenberg Martin Greenberg. I'm joined virtually today by Andre McCain and Kimberly Wiggins, who will hopefully have a camera on soon, who are the individual licensees for Half Smoke Baltimore LLC.
But if we need their testimony, we'll come back to them in a minute. As usual, your firm has provided us with an extensive package of materials to support the application. Do you want to run us through it quickly?
That's correct. Do you need to swear the witnesses or do you want to proceed?
Well, I don't think we have them yet, so why don't you just go through the proper?
Sure. So for the board's reference, this is an application for a new Class B license at 2400 Boston Street, Suite 108, which is in the Can Company in Canton. The restaurant, Half Smoke, will be taking over the former Alma Cocina Latina space in the Can Company. Mr. Ackworth read the privileges we're seeking for the restaurant. In the packet of exhibits we provided to the board in advance of the hearing, I gave you some exhibits showing the aerial photo of the space and the street view photos of the space. The Can Company was recently acquired by MCB Real Estate, and they take on some upgrades to the space. You see now the exterior of the building, for example, is painted gray, and they've been making some upgrades to the overall premises, kind of giving it a refresh and a reboot to the, oh, there's Mr. Wiggins, to the space. The restaurant seeking to go into the space is Half Smoke. I provided an article as one of the exhibits showing providing information on Half Smoke's existing restaurant in DC. This would be their second restaurant. The first one in the state of Maryland and the first one in Baltimore. The second one, the existing restaurant in DC is very popular and located in the Shaw neighborhood of Washington, DC, near Ben's Chili Bowl. The Half Smoke name derives from the sausage, which is half beef, half pork sausage, and it's very popular down there. And they're trying to bring this, food cuisine to the Baltimore area. I've included a menu in the exhibits for your review that shows they have a local flair for their DC patrons, and I think they'll be doing the same sort of local spin here as well. We've included Exhibit 5 in the exhibits, a floor plan showing the premises will have 87 interior seats with some at the counter looking over a kitchen, and additional 17 seats at the bar, and as many as 74 seats outside, which may be reduced after the pandemic. Included the interior build out, the Half Smoke concept is intended to promote lounging and people hanging out and enjoying themselves after having their food and having a drink. So the DC location has sort of that playful lounge vibe, which will hopefully be emulated here as well. That sort of upgrades that they're looking to do in the Baltimore space are reflected in the capital investment breakdown, which has been provided in your packet as well. It shows over $500,000 investment proposed for the community. That actually I realize now doesn't even include the COVID-related upgrades the public have to make in the short term as well for safety. The hours of operation have not been finalized, but they anticipate operating from 11 a.m. to midnight daily. The restaurant has hired Rachel Paulino to serve as a general manager. Ms. Paulino has over 15 years of experience in the food service industry. I've included a resume as one of the exhibits for your review. Her last position was as a manager with Atlas Restaurant Group. The restaurant will have a policy of carding any individuals who appear to be under 35 years old, and all the managers will be required to complete an alcoholic beverages safety training course. They are requesting live entertainment privileges permitted by right under the Can Company planning and development. They don't have specific, plans for live entertainment now, but they like the privilege and ability to do so. Half Smoke anticipates hiring approximately 30 employees in full and part-time positions. As far as the requirements for the new Class B license, and for the reference, for the board's reference, we're seeking a new Class B license as opposed to a transfer of the Class B license because the former restaurant in the space, we were concerned there may be outstanding liabilities for tax issues or anything else. So to be safe, Half Smoke has opted to apply for the new license from the board. So we have met the capital investment requirements. The floor plan shows that there's easily more than 75 seats in the premises. And given their experience in the DC restaurant, they feel confident there will not be an issue meeting the 51% food sales requirement. Regarding the individual licensees, Mr. McCain is the Half Smoke Baltimore or Half Smoke CEO. He developed the concept for Half Smoke's DC restaurant in his 20s. He has formerly started out in the finance industry and then decided to get in the restaurant business and got a job entry level in a couple quick service restaurants and learned the business from the ground up. So he definitely cares about the quality of the restaurant and will ensure that it meets the standards and won't be a disturbance to the community. Ms. Wiggins is our local Baltimore City resident. She will not have any involvement in day-to-day operations, but is a Southeast Baltimore resident, and she's very involved in the local community and spends her days in a local nonprofit promoting home ownership in the city. She can be trusted to ensure that the restaurant will not be not problematic for the community. Both licensee applicants have reviewed the rules and regulations of the board and have pledged to abide by them. As the chairman said, we provided the full packet of information with the factors the board is supposed to consider. I can go through them quickly. I guess one thing I'll highlight for the board, unless you have any other questions, is that there's a letter of support from the Canton Community Association, which is excited to see a new restaurant go into the space and that there won't be a prolonged vacancy in the Can Company. Thanks. Unless you have any questions, we'll submit with that.
Okay. I'm pleased to see that they have developed signature boozy milkshakes. Sounds interesting. And now the employees who are going to handle the alcohol will all be tip certified?
Is that right, Mr. McCain?
Yes, that's correct.
He hasn't been sworn in. I don't.
We better, can we swear Mr. McCain, please?
Yes. Okay, Mr. McCain, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thanks.
All right, so I ask the question again, Mr. McCain, and good morning. Will the employees who are handling alcohol be tip certified?
Good morning. Yes, sir, they will be tip certified.
Okay. I see that you've gotten some press that's in this package. That's nice. Your mother's worried about you, but otherwise it looks good. I also want to note that Miss Paulina is obviously named after the little ball that one throws first at the bocce match, so I'm impressed with that. But I have no further questions for the other commissioners.
No question.
I just have one question. Mr. McCain, congrats on all your success. This is really impressive. Any issues with half smoke in DC? Have you had any license issues there?
Thank you very much, Mr. Greenfield. We've been open for 4 years and we've had no issues whatsoever.
Great. Thank you, Mr. McCain.
Mr. Akris, do we have others who want to comment?
If there are any individual members from the public who wish to provide testimony at this time, please use the raise your hand function so you can be impaneled and provide testimony. Mr. Chair, I see no individuals that wish to give testimony in this matter.
Okay, thank you. On the basis then the materials contained in the application, also this packet that Mr. Williams' firm has submitted, which will be made part of the record, his proffer and the testimony received, taking special note that the Canton Community Association has provided support. I would vote to approve this application for a new Class B wine and liquor restaurant license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
I too, based on the information received, approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with live entertainment, outdoor services, and off-premise catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
On the basis of the application, the proffer from Mr. Williams, the testimony of Mr. McCain, to which my colleagues in approving this new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and the delivery of alcoholic beverages. Good luck.
I call exhibits for the record. Exhibit number 1, business plan. Exhibit number 2, letter of support from Canton Community Association dated 10/20/20 in support.
Mr. Williams, the board will be sending you correspondence via mail regarding its decision and next steps for licensure.
Great, thanks, and have a good morning or rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Calling the next case on the docket, Victoria, Caitlin Munoz, and Camille Cachara, North Avenue Arts LLC, trading as Motor House, 120 West North Avenue. It's a Class D beer, wine, and liquor license and application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service. Just give me a moment, and I'm going to impanel the next witnesses. All right, I've impaneled Ms. Hecker, Ms. Munoz, and Ms. Kashaka. Ms. Kashaka, could you please turn on your video footage? Perfect. Great. Madam Reporter?
Okay, Ms. Hecker, will you identify yourself for the record, please?
Good morning, Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg, Martin, Greenberg. On behalf of the applicants, we have Ms. Munoz and Ms. Kashaka here with us this morning.
Okay, good morning. Let's swear them in, please, Madam Clerk.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Okay, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Did we get the
And Ms.
vote?
Munoz?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Hecker, you want to tell us about this application?
Yes, thank you. Good morning. This is an application to transfer the ownership of the existing Class D license held by North Avenue Arts LLC and Amy Bonnets for use at the Motor House at 120 West North Avenue. We submitted a series of exhibits to the board a few days ago, which you should have in your file. And if this looks familiar to you, it should. This is a little bit of a do-over of a license transfer that we started last year, but was not able to be completed during the 180-day period. The license for the Motor House was originally transferred to that location back in 2016 to be held by Amy Bonnets as the individual licensee. She was the president and CEO of Barco, the Baltimore Arts Realty Corporation, which owns North Avenue Arts LLC. It's a nonprofit, non-stock corporation, but she has subsequently resigned her position, so she's no longer going to be holding the liquor license. We are therefore applying to transfer the license to two current staff members at the Motor House, Ms. Munoz and Ms. Kachaka. But because this represents a complete 100% change in licensees, it's treated as a transfer, even though there is not technically a transfer of ownership of this license. We had applied to the board to transfer the license to Ms. Munoz and Jessica Solomon back in September of last year, but during the transfer process, we uncovered several permitting issues that took longer to resolve than we had anticipated. And as a result, we were not able to complete the transfer prior to the expiration of the 180-day period, which this board extended to 270 days in May of this year. And then subsequently, Ms. Solomon left the Motor House, so we've now reapplied to transfer the license to Ms. Munoz and Ms. Kachaka. The Motor House is about a 25,000 square foot building located on North Avenue between Howard Street and Maryland Avenue. It contains a black box performance theater, about 14 artist studios, and office space for 6 arts-related organizations, as well as a 100-seat cafe called the Showroom Cafe, which is primarily an event bar opening about an hour before scheduled performances and events at the Motor House. In the file that we submitted, there should be some Google Earth images, aerials, street views, as well as a floor plan of the premises. We're not proposing any changes to the existing operation. Both of our individual licensee applicants are qualified city residents and registered voters. Ms. Munoz is the operations and rentals manager at the Motor House, and Ms. Kachaka came to the Motor House in February of this year as its new executive director. Neither applicant has previously held a liquor license, but they are both familiar with the rules and regulations of the liquor board, and they agree to abide by them. There is a memorandum of understanding with the Charles North Community Association, which should be in your file. We intend to continue to abide by the terms of that MOU. There is clearly a public need and desire for the license as set forth in that MOU and based on the success of the Motor House over the last several years. There is not going to be any change or impact on other licensees in the area. Again, this is an existing license that's proposed to remain in effect. The Motor House has a unique space that showcases Baltimore's vibrant and diverse urban art scene. And it does provide a uniqueness of services in that regard. And again, this is an existing license that's proposed to remain. And finally, there's not going to be any negative impact on the public health, safety, or general welfare of the neighborhood. Again, we have an MOU with the local community association that we will continue to abide by. And they have had no incidents or issues in their history so far. So for these reasons, we would ask the board to approve the transfer of the license to Ms. Munoz and Ms. Kachaka. And hopefully this time within the 180-day period, we'll be able to complete the transfer and get this finished. With that, I'd ask you to approve the license transfer.
Are the applicants tip certified, and will the other employees handling alcohol be tip certified?
I believe they are both, the current applicants are both tip certified. I'll let them respond as to whether the servers, what their plans are for the bartenders and servers at the cafe. Ms. Munoz?
Yes, all bartenders and bar manager will be tip certified.
Great.
And with respect to the MOU, are they willing to have its terms be a condition on the license to the extent that it's enforceable?
Yes, I believe they already are. They were conditioned on the original license, but that's certainly fine.
Okay. The commissioners have any questions?
None.
No questions.
Public comment, Mr. Akras?
If there are any members of the public that wish to provide testimony in this matter, please use the raise your hand function. Mr. Chair, I do not see any individuals that wish to give testimony in this matter.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hecker, then on the basis of the materials contained in the application, your extensive proffer and the testimony that was received, I would vote to approve the transfer of this license to Docket, subject to the terms of the MOU.
Thank you.
Also, I too approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service.
Based upon the application before us, the proffers from Ms. Hecker, and the testimony, I too would approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service. Good luck.
Thank you all.
Medical exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, business plan.
Ms. Hecker, please note that the board will be sending you correspondence via mail in regards to the board's decision and next steps for licensure.
Thank you.
Calling the next case, Luke Miller Ostrom and Adam Jen, Rye Street Tavern Licensee LLC, trading as Rye Street Tavern, 225 East Cromwell Street, is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. A request to reduce the size of the license footprint of the establishment. I'm going to impanel those witnesses right now. Mr. Jen, Mr. Ostrom, if you could please turn on your video and audio footage. Sorry, video and audio feeds.
Sorry, guys, there's the heli.
Okay, all the witnesses have been impaneled, Mr. Chair.
Would the reporter swear them, please?
Please raise your right hand. Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God, or under penalty of perjury? And please state your name before your response.
Adam Jen, I do. Luke Ostrom, I do.
Thanks.
Okay, so Ms. Hecker, is this your case as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So this is sort of an unusual request. You want to tell us about it?
Yes, thank you. For the record, Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg, Martin Greenberg, on behalf of the applicants, our two individual licensees, Mr. Ostrom and Mr. Jen, are both present this morning. I think Mr. Akris described it as an application to reduce the license premises. It's actually an application to reduce in part, but also to expand in part, really to modify the license premises. And this one may sound familiar to you as well. This has been before the board a couple of times to modify the license premises for Rye Street Tavern. The license for Rye Street Tavern is a BD7 license that was approved to be transferred there in August of 2017. The original license premises, as approved at the hearing back then, included not only the Rye Street Tavern restaurant, but also the adjacent outdoor areas identified as Land Unit 3 and Land Unit 4 on the condominium plat. I submitted earlier this week a series of exhibits which include the sort of evolution of the license premises that shows the variations in the areas that have been included over time. And the first exhibit in that file shows the area that was originally included. The restaurant opened in August of 2017. It's been very successful. I have included a number of articles about it in the file that I submitted. It is located adjacent to the Sagamore Spirit Distillery, which is located on Land Unit 1 of the condominium. That operates under a manufacturing license issued by the state. The two premises are adjacent to one another. Their ownership is not affiliated, and their premises need to remain completely separate. In 2018, Sagamore expressed a desire to be able to hold events in their courtyard area, which was originally part of the Rye Street Tavern premises. And so we applied to the board to reduce the size of the licensed premises to avoid having any overlap in the licensed premises or confusion over which license would control that area. That area was basically set as kind of a no man's land where either operation could apply on an as-needed basis to extend their premises to cover that area, but it would ordinarily not be part of either licensed premises. And the board approved that in 2018. And in the file that we submitted, there is a plan showing the revised licensed premises that is in place right now. Now, due to the constraints on indoor dining due to the pandemic, Rice Street Tavern wishes to expand in part its outdoor dining operations and also to reduce the licensed premises in another area to allow Sagamore the opportunity to have some additional outdoor space. They reopened it on July 1st. They put up a big tent with, fans and a solid floor to make it a really nice outdoor dining experience. I think I included an article in the file about what they've been doing right now. And then the final exhibit, I think in the file, shows the revised licensed premises area, showing the area that's going to be removed and also the area that's going to be added to the licensed premises, which will allow them to have a more effective and efficient operation for outdoor dining, as well as to allow Sagamore to have the opportunity to expand a little bit into a separate outdoor area to serve their needs. There is a public need and desire for this license. It's been very successful. They have a great outdoor space that's been one of the areas that's worked well during this unusual pandemic situation that we're in. It is the only luxury restaurant in Port Covington. The only other licensed establishment over there is Nick's Fish House, which attracts a very different market. So there is a uniqueness of services and very little impact, if any, on any other licensees in the area. We think this will only be positive for public health, safety, and welfare by really improving the outdoor dining opportunities that will be available over in Port Covington. And for these reasons, we would ask the board to approve the amendment to the licensed premises as shown on the revised plan.
Just for clarification, that there's no conflict with Sagamore Spirit over it.
No, not at all.
Okay.
This will accommodate them as well.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
And my question is, you're not reducing the footprint, you're revising the footprint. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, it broke up a little bit in the middle there. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes. You are not reducing the footprint, but you are revising the footprint.
Yes, I think that's a good way to put it. It will be net neutral. It takes it away in a little area and then it makes it bigger in a little area.
No questions.
Okay. Do we have public comment, Mr. Ackworth?
If there are any individuals or individual members from the public who wish to give testimony in this matter, please use the raise your hand function and I will impanel you as a witness. Mr. Chair, I see no individuals that wish to give testimony in this matter.
Okay. Ms. Hecker, then on the basis of the materials that you've submitted, the application and the supporting materials you are proper, and any testimony, I would vote to approve the modification of the license footprint of the establishment as you have requested.
I also vote to approve the requested change in the size of the footprint as stated by you in your profit. Thank you.
Based upon the application, the proffers from Ms. Hecker, I too would approve the modification of the license premises of the establishment.
Thank you all very much.
Title exhibits for the record. Exhibit number 1, business plan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Ms. Hecker, please note that the board will be mailing you correspondence regarding the board's decision and next steps for licensure.
Thank you.
Calling the next case on the docket. This is going to be Anil Kumar Gupta and Freddie Moore Corbin, S&A Wine and Spirits LLC, trading as 4Gs Liquor and Lounge, 4701 through 03, Liberty Heights Avenue, is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license application to transfer ownership, requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages. We have one individual member from the public who wishes to give testimony in this case. I'm going to impanel all individuals so that they can be sworn in at the same time.
Is there counsel?
Yes, Mr. Kadinsky is counsel.
Okay.
Mr. Kadinsky, Ms. Smith, I would ask that both of you please turn on your video footage and turn on your audio footage. You've been impaneled.
All right, I'm here.
Mr. Kudensky, would you identify yourself for the record, please?
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 320 North Charles Street.
Good morning. And can the reporter swear the other witnesses, please?
Ms. Smith, please turn on your video footage. There we go.
Okay. All right.
And
I see Ms. Smith. And who is the witness with you, Mr. Kadensky?
Mr. Gupta, Anil Gupta.
Okay. Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Thanks. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
Yes. Mr. Gupta says yes.
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Smith?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
So, Mr. Kudensky, you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, this is a transfer of an existing license, and this license you may or may not be in your packet, but it's subject to a House bill that was passed in which it limits the hours of operation for this particular location, which would be from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday. And it was actually codified. It also provides for high definition cameras that provide continuous 24-hour monitoring inside and outside, which this particular applicant is familiar with, and he agrees to be, of course, with the statute, he's stuck with what it is. He has presently not had a license in the state of Maryland, but he was licensed in the District of Columbia for about 7 or 8 years ago and had no problems. He has been out of that business because the lease expired. He is scheduled to take the alcohol awareness course. He will have 3 or 4 employees. He will retain some of the ones that are still there. And he will agree to work along with the community. The current owner has agreed to stay on for a while and help him for next to several weeks after the license is being transferred.
And will the additional employees also be tip certified?
That's correct. Anybody that's going to be serving alcohol will also be tip certified.
And what is the community organization?
I'm not sure because I had gotten a notice. They were talking about a possible. As far as I know, there's no MOU. We could never verify that. Mm-hmm. The lady who's on the waiting, probably that's her organization.
Okay, well, let's hear from Smith then.
The organization is Howard Park Civic Association. There is no MOU.
Mm-hmm. And you're associated with them, Ms. Smith?
I'm the president.
Okay. And did you want to add something to the testimony here?
Just for clarification, the legislation is 9 p.m. closing, not 10. It was originally set for 9 p.m. There was some emergency legislation passed in 2018 without community input that increased it to 10 p.m. We went back to our legislators and told them that we didn't know why it was increased to 10, but we wanted it moved back to 9 p.m. And that was done, I believe, in last year's legislative session.
Okay. Well, whatever the law is, they're going to have to abide by it. So
Correct.
do you have anything additional that you wanted to add, Ms. Smith?
Yes, is this, I have a letter I'd like to read if this is the appropriate time.
Yes, you may.
And this is from me. Good morning to the Board of Commissioners and the parties involved. My name is Joyce J. Smith, president of the Howard Park Civic Association. The 4G's liquor store is in the Howard Park footprint. When this hearing and subsequent property sale came to my attention, I wanted to speak on behalf of the association and community. In previous years, there was a lot of problems on that corner with loitering, trash, and criminal activity. Steps were taken through our state legislators to have the hours opening and closing modified, which is still in place, and we don't want them expanded. I'd like to give the current owner credit for taking the needed steps on his part to alleviate the problems as best that he could. He also donated to our community functions. Thank you. That being said, if new ownership is to take over 4Gs, we want you to know that we hope to have no less from you. We expect you to be accountable to the community as any business owner should be. We want you to listen to our concerns, if any, and comply when possible. We are working to have all businesses in Howard Park responsive to our community. There's much work to be done because we want Howard Park to become a model that other neighborhoods can look up to. Therefore, if a liquor store has to be in our community, we want it to have high standards, cleanliness, trash view, and non-loitering as much as possible, and definitely not a safe place for drug activity. When we start our Howard Park Association meetings again, you will be welcome to come and introduce yourself to the organization and community, whether in person or by Zoom. I would like to receive from the new owner his contact information and would like to know whether or not this new owner has any other liquor stores in Baltimore City, and what if any problems have accrued from those. As long as these expectations are known, I don't think that we can legally object to a transfer of business or license at this time. Thank you, Joyce Smith.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. So the board always encourages its licensees to work closely with community organizations. Sounds like yours is very happy to do that, and you had some success with the previous owner. So we will encourage Mr. Gupta to do that, and we have a community liaison individual who can facilitate that as well. Mr. Kadensky, is he willing to provide his contact information to the community association?
Yes, he is. And I'm assuming that Ms. Smith's email is smith@jpj@aol.com. Is that correct, Ms. Smith?
That's correct.
I'll send you his email link, and then he's willing to meet either virtually or in person with the community and cooperate with the community.
Is he the new owner, Mr. Anil Kumar Gupta?
He's right here behind me. You can see him. He's waving to you right now.
Right.
Okay.
And who is Freddie Moore Corbin?
He's the one that's on the license now. He's a city resident.
Oh.
I don't know if you know Freddie or not.
So he wasn't the owner that we dealt with.
No, you dealt with the Sons, the Korean gentleman.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, they are required to have a city resident on it, so that's why Mr. Corbin's on there. In answer to her other question, does Mr. Gupta have any other liquor stores in Baltimore?
No, he does not.
Okay.
And he never did.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you, everyone. Do the commissioners have questions?
Mr. Jones, I think you're on mute.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I don't have a question, but just a comment. I drive through that area a lot, and I do see a lot of people on the corner, and the window, showcase window is cluttered with all types of signage. It doesn't make the place very appealing. So I trust that the new ownership will deal with that issue.
Okay.
They'll be willing to look into that, yes.
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Kadensky, do we have public comment other than Ms. Smith? Mr. Ackworth?
If there are any other individuals that wish to provide public comment at this time, please use the raise your hand function and we can impanel you. Mr. Chair, I see no other individuals that wish to give testimony in this matter.
Okay. Thank you. Then on the basis of the materials contained in the application, the proffers from council, the testimony received, including the testimony from Ms. Smith from Howard Park Civic Association, and the willingness on the part of Mr. Gupta to cooperate with them in trying to make this establishment acceptable in that community, I would vote to approve the transfer of ownership of the BD7 license.
Based on the application received and the profit presented, I also approve the transfer of ownership requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based upon the application, the proffers from Mr. Kadinsky, the testimony from Mr. Gupta and Ms. Smith, I too would approve the application to transfer ownership with the delivery of alcoholic beverages. Thank you.
No exhibits.
Mr. Kadinsky, please note that the board will be sending you correspondence via mail regarding the board's decision and next steps.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Kadinsky, you have the next case, correct?
Yes, sir.
And your witnesses are with you?
Yes, Ms. Solomon is taking a seat right behind me at this point.
Okay, great. India Solomon LLC, trading as India Solomon, 1000 East Hoffman Street, is a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership.
Ms. Kadinsky, you want to identify yourself again?
For the record, Melvin J. Kadinsky, 320 North Charles Street, representing India Solomon.
Good morning. Ms. Reporter, would you swear Ms. Solomon, please?
To give shall be the, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Okay. Kadinsky, this is an application to transfer?
Yes, it is. And in fact, if you look at the board's records, Ms. Solomon had been the licensee on this license for the last several years as a personal representative. As a result of Betty Solomon, which was her relative, had passed away. And now as a result of the state distribution, she's applying to have the license put in her name now on behalf of her LLC, which she has formed. She is familiar with the business, having worked there, off and on when her relatives ran the place. She's familiar with the neighborhood. She's going to take the alcohol awareness course very shortly. She's familiar with the rules and regulations of the liquor board, and also she's familiar with the neighborhood.
Right. And is she going to employ other people there as well?
There's several. It's a very small business, but she would agree if she hires other people who will be dispensing alcohol, that they would become alcohol certified.
And is Ms. Solomon going to be there on a regular basis, or does she have another occupation?
Well, she has an occupation, but the place doesn't open usually until the late afternoons anyhow.
All right. Do the commissioners have questions?
None.
No questions.
Public comment, Mr. Ackworth?
Are there any individuals who would like to give public comment in this case? Please use the raise your hand function so I can panel you as a witness. Mr. Chair, I see no individuals who wish to give public testimony in this case.
All right, thank you. Okay. Mr. Kadinsky, on the basis of the materials contained in the application, your proffer, any testimony received, I would vote to approve the transfer of ownership of this license to Ms. Solomon.
Based on the information received in the application, I also approve the application to transfer ownership requesting, I also approve the application for transfer of ownership.
So Ms. Solomon has apparently run this operation fairly well. We haven't seen any violations in the last several years. So if she's been in there, she's been doing a good job. And I too, based upon the proffers, would approve the transfer of ownership.
Okay.
Thank you.
No exhibits for the record.
Mr. Kadinsky, please note that the board will be sending you correspondence via mail regarding the board's decision and next steps for licensure.
All right, thank you very much.
And you don't have any more cases today, correct, Mr. Kadinsky?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Calling the last case on the docket. This is Song Young Lee, Soo Hee Suk Lee, and Beth Ann Thomas, S&H Liquors Incorporated, trading as Village Liquors. This is 4220 Edmondson Avenue. This is a Class A2 beer, wine, and liquor license. Request for hardship extension under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article 122202. Mr. Harry Previs is the attorney in this case. I have impaneled him, and he should be coming on now. Mr. Previs, if you could please turn on your video and audio feeds.
Harry Previs on behalf of the licensees. Sue Lee is over here. And then we have Sam Lee and Christine Lee.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Prida. So we have a letter Sam Lee wrote us back in April. And it looks like, so is this a request to reopen or for a hardship extension? What is it?
This is a 180-day hardship extension. And if possible, we'd be requesting more in light of the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know that that's authorized, but
Okay. Well, that's just 180 days. This actually stems from an incident on April 23rd. They were actually victims of a burglary. A car was driven through the front of their shop, and the shop was reduced to rubble. Right now, they're dealing with their insurance company, and they're still in the process of rebuilding. I think, if I'm saying correctly, you're still negotiating with the insurance company and haven't started building yet. And for those reasons, they're requesting the 180-day extension.
Okay. Do the commission have any questions?
None.
No questions.
Do we have anyone in the public who wants to testify?
If there are any individuals or individual members from the public who wish to give testimony, please use the raise your hand function so I can panel you as a witness. Mr. Chairman, I see no individuals that wish to give testimony in this matter.
Thank you. Basis then of the materials that were submitted, including the letter of April 26, 2020 from Sam Young Lee and the proffer from Mr. Priebus this morning, I vote to grant a 180-day hardship extension.
Also approve the request for a hardship extension, 180 days.
Based upon Mr. Priebus's proffer, I too would grant a 180-day hardship extension.
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you.
Mr. Priebus, please note that we will be sending you correspondence regarding the board's decision.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Akras, does that conclude our docket?
Mr. Chairman, that concludes our docket. The board will be in recess until Thursday, November 5th, 2020 at 11 a.m.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.